going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Red Corner. We're here with another pod, guys. Remember, like and subscribe. Good to see you guys. International break is almost over. Clem, what's happening? Fuzz, what's happening?
Good man, good. Counting down till the end of international break. Just a few
Amen,
more
amen.
sleeps. A few more sleeps, man.
Until football comes back. But, bruh, like, that's a
Football
nonsense,
back.
actually. I feel like the season just started. Why are we in an international break? Bruh, like, we just
Uh,
started.
yeah,
Yeah,
No,
yeah, yeah.
like UEFA and FIFA need to sort it out between themselves. Like they need to like start swapping. So this year is the year of FIFA. This year's year of UEFA. This thing of
Yeah,
trying to compete with each other.
yeah, yeah,
UEFA does this tournament, and then FIFA wants to add games to compete.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
we can't do it.
Yeah, it's gonna be wild actually because AFCON is moving to. I think this is the last AFCON that's gonna be in January. Then they're also moving it to like off season as well. So it's like, hey,
yeah.
bruh, it's just it's gonna be
But
wild.
this new AFCON already has a different format. I think it goes over December and Jan. So I think it
Uh,
used to be
Mm.
just in Jan. Now
yeah,
it's December, Jan, which is
yeah,
also
yeah.
hella confusing.
That's another thing. And I remember,
In the
Yeah,
sweltering heat of summer.
hey, bruh, hey, dog, yeah, no, it's gonna be killer.
yeah,
I remember last AFCON, Onana had just joined. And like
Oh,
that dude did not want to let Bayern play. He was like, "AFCON call up," and Cameroon was saying his cousin's gonna play or whatever, and he was like, "No, I'm gonna play the United game, and I'm gonna like go super late to AFCON." And then he
yeah,
went there super late, had one or two games that got locked out, and then he came back. And it's like,
yeah.
and he came back in time for the next Premier League game. He didn't miss a Premier League game at all. Yeah,
that's when you guys
Oh,
should have known. That's when you guys should
that's
have
what I
known
should have known.
that you've got a problem on your hands.
yeah.
Yeah, because Onana, like it's like how I was saying off air. Like honestly, I genuinely thought that he was like 25, 26. Like I knew he had played with Inter and Ajax and all that stuff. I remember watching him
Yeah.
with both of those teams, but for some reason, I just still thought, okay, maybe he has 2 more years to hit that, mature prime era of Kanti. He's in it, yo.
As
Yeah,
well, as well.
it's a bad look. Look, Nemanja Matic, if you're watching this, I think you may have been right.
No, we apologize. We apologize. Like,
Apologize.
yeah, you're not. To be
Yeah,
to be real clear, as it was happening, and you obviously Onana's your guy, and you want to back your guy, but like, I think I
in the
know,
back of your
I know
mind,
in the background you knew.
like,
You're like, but you just betting,
this
yeah.
guy is into something. Yeah,
But anyways, so speaking about Onana, I mean, we were chatting about the transfer window last weekend, and uh, the transfer window slammed shut and all that stuff. We thought, okay, cool, things are good. It was having a look at what's going to happen with Saudi and whatever. Then all of a sudden, Onana, Trabzonspor, what's going on, bro? Like, where is that team actually in the Turkish league? Because they're obviously not top two. There's Galaf, Fenerbahce. Are they like the third biggest team? Where are they?
I
Trabzonspor.
actually
They're
don't
a big
know.
team. They're a big team, but I wouldn't say they're third.
Yeah.
You've got Fenerbahce, Galatasaray. You've got quite a few teams that are quite big there. But
Besiktas is there as well. Yeah,
let me-
yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah,
let me just quickly pull these guys up.
yeah. And there's that Istanbul
But
Bas.
I do recall having, was it us who played them or was it you guys who played, seen them in Europe before? But so they're big enough to make it into Europe sometimes, they're not like a Samsung or, whatever, but they got a name enough for, the African guys to know. Because remember, Turkey is basically the new Russian, how Russia used to recruit all the Brazilian rejects and all the
Yeah,
upcoming African guys. Well, Turkey is basically doing that, and
yeah.
then we've now got Saudi, who's basically the new Chinese project. So I mean, they're second right now. So they're second
Yeah,
right now in the league, right?
league just started. But anyway, so we get the here we go for Nana. We're like, how This guy. Look. That's how I wanted it to go, right? I wanted him to go over by Jay because I feel like if he's there, there's a chance of him playing. Right? If he's not here, then
Yeah.
like we can figure it out with our new guy with Lamens, whatever. But this
Yeah.
dude goes now, and then all the stuff starts coming out. They're like, no, Onana, he came back after the break, and one of the first things he did, he knocked in on whoever's the sporting director, whoever, I think it was Wilcox, and he was like,
Mm.
Chief, I've got that thing in my contract where if we don't qualify for Champions League, we take a 25% pay cut. He was like, I need to speak to you, my man. We need to get that thing out of my contract. And we're
Yeah.
like, dude, you are like
You are the reason.
you are the reason we're not in the champions. You're a main reason. As soon as I heard that, I got flashbacks to that Ten Hag season when we were in the Champions League. I think we played Copenhagen, we played Bayern Munich, and something else. And bruh, I think we scored 3 away at Bayern Munich. But every time we scored, Onana was just chucking them in, bruh.
Doing
Chucking.
something wrong. Yeah. But look, if we had to be fair to Onana, what would you say is like the fundamental problem? What has been the fundamental problem with Onana's style and approach to goalkeeping at Man United?
I feel like when I
Not
watch
practicing.
yeah, look,
Unprofessional.
look, I feel like when I
Yeah.
watch Onana, I feel like it feels like the whole goalkeeping mechanics are wrong. Like the
Yeah.
way he dives is like weird. Have you seen like when keepers dive, like if something's stretching, right? You dive with like one arm to try and get it. That guy will do Superman and like he'll try and dive like that. And it's like, my guy, like you're limiting how far you can stretch by
Yeah.
having 2 hands out. And also the way he goes, like if a ball's coming like right below him, he tends to like jump over the ball, like rather than dropping down to save the ball, he jumps over. You'll see so many balls sneak under him while he's diving down, and it's
Yeah.
Mm.
someone says he goes down in installments. I was like, so
Yeah.
that guy. The main problem for Nana is Onana. I think that's just what it is.
But
Onana makes me feel like I missed an opportunity to become a professional player. Like I was so focused. Like I was so focused on trying to be this defensive mid. You watch your Busquets, Philip Lambs, all that,
Uh,
like Javi Mascherano when I was playing,
uh,
and you just like, I should have just listened to my primary school coach and just been a goalkeeper. Onana, honestly, I feel like he snuck in. I
yeah.
don't know how, like
But
just
bro,
snuck in
the guy
to
was at La
professional
Masia.
football.
The guy was at La Masia. How? How?
Yeah,
Yeah.
How?
but then if you look back, from if just from memory, I think Onana only had one really strong season, right? The one at Inter Milan. Wasn't that like the season where he kind of sort of really faked it till he made it type thing? And I think, as a
And
goalkeeper,
Ajax.
was he solid at Ajax, or do we just put it down to it being in the Netherlands, or would you say his reputation, he built a solid reputation in Ajax, or did he come on like the Ten Hag ticket as well? Wasn't it
Yeah.
just like a favor from Ten Hag?
So, so
Where
the,
did
the
the reputation come from for Onana? What did he really
yeah,
do? Like,
yeah.
what have we really seen him do where we can say, okay, this guy is the real deal?
Yeah, I don't think he's got like a path of glory like that. Like I think like he
Yeah,
was just sort of like in the because even at Inter, that Handanovic was the keeper and Onana came in as the second keeper. He just managed to
Mm.
while he was at Inter, he won number one. He hustled his way to the top. But like the scary thing for me is when you watch pre-Man United games, Ajax and Inter, those same howlers that we see are there in other teams.
exactly.
So I have to look at the scouting, guys. Well, I know Ten Hag was a big factor, but like I have to sign either. I'm like, guys, you guys saw this, and if you didn't
Yeah,
see it, why didn't you see it?
yeah,
Yeah,
but look, like you always say, Ten Hag did a number on us, man.
right. Do you
Ten
realize
Hag
that
did a number on us.
we are literally working to get all of the Ten Hag guys out? That is our summer.
Yeah,
Got Hoyland out, uh, Anthony out, got Onana out. in fact, the only people I think who will remain from Ten Hag is De Ligt and Martinez. I think those are the only guys like who he
Don't
bought.
you still have Malasia?
Yeah,
Malasia,
Malasia is
oh,
that guy's messed up. I like his apparently his knees busted. Like I think we're I think his football days are over.
yeah,
I saw
yeah,
something about a loan coming up, but
yeah.
I don't know.
And
There's
do
also
you know
Clem.
how? Yeah,
Yeah,
and do you know how crazy it is for a club the stature of Man United to invest in a pretty much an unknown
bro.
20-something-year-old goalkeeper and to just say, look, Chief, it's fine. You can leave. We're gonna go with this guy.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
it's
you know
crazy.
how hectic that is. That's crazy,
It's
man.
it is. It's crazy. It's crazy. But hey, bruh, like it's over. We've been through it. It's over. We don't know what this Lamens guy is, but I know he's definitely better than Onana. That I can guarantee you.
Yeah.
Like, like Fuzz, have you ever seen any attack, any shot, like every single shot that comes at you in every game, you're panicking. Like
Well, we
every
had Mignolet and
single
Carriers.
shot.
We had Mignolet and Carriers. So I mean, you guys got a taste of what we experienced for like 4 years.
But I feel like
Yeah.
Carriers had like his major moments. Like if he had his clangers, right? But I feel like he
Mm.
was kind of like solid, and then he had a massive clanger, and
Then
then
he had,
solid.
but
No,
they
there was
do say,
nothing solid.
yeah, but they do say that Karius, the one thing that ruined his reputation was obviously that Champions League final,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But apparently he had like a concussion or something during that
Mm.
game. Yeah, so at least there's some sort of like excuse.
You know when when they have
That
to compare
Onana's
you
never had.
when they have to compare your level with guys who are playing with concussion.
Onana's had his chance. Yeah, yeah.
But
Look, it's
what
like
will
you.
be interesting to see
Yeah.
will be in Turkey because he's going to a team that's only conceded once in 4 games and find themselves second. You know, they're actually higher than Besiktas right
Mm,
now, and it will be very interesting to see how the rest of the season plays out because they've only conceded one goal. Like, what made that sporting director think to themselves, "Yeah, I'm gonna go fetch
This
Onana.
guy.
Like, I'm gonna go and ruin my season potentially and go fetch the one guy that can actually do it." You know what I mean? Like, you've only conceded one goal in 4. That means 3 clean sheets in 4 games. Like,
I,
why did you feel like Onana's the guy?
I feel like the idea was floated in the boardroom and stuff, and they were like, no, let's get this Solana guy. And they obviously had a bit of an argument. They're like, no, but look at this guy at United or whatever. And I feel like at some point they put on that Inter Milan Man City game, and they were like, no, let's watch the highlights together, guys.
Mm.
Let's gas ourselves up before we.
Ooh, imagine this.
Look, maybe
Imagine
another.
this for 20 games.
Yeah, maybe another scam that Onana highlighted is this goalkeepers good with their feet story. I think he might have also ridden that wave, and I think it might be time for us to start really questioning that whole thing,
Yeah,
like that's not a goalkeeper's main job, like
yeah,
your main job isn't to pass the
Mm.
ball anyway. Why
yeah,
are guys getting ahead on like I'm a keeper who can pass the ball? That's not your job.
yeah, yeah,
That's not
yeah.
your job.
He's
Exactly.
not that great at it. Like, he really isn't that great at it. Like, I
Yeah.
remember when he came to United, the chat was, "Oh, now United has the best
Best
distributor."
distributor.
And
Yeah.
every time I hear anyone talk about goalkeepers, me having Edison, I'm just like, you know what? I feel like Ellen is disrespected. And then when I watched Onana, I'm like, the first kick I ever saw him do, he did this stumble motion afterwards. I was like, these guys do not have a distributor. They have
Yeah.
someone who just,
Uh,
this guy was not planning anything that happens after they left his boot. If
Yeah.
it lands on the player, it's luck. He had no technique, no technique.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it was a rocky start. Remember preseason? There was that whole thing where game number one, you just arrived at this club. And he had that whole fight with Harry Maguire in preseason. I think they conceded. And he's shouting at Maguire and stuff. And you're like, my guy, You got here. This is like your first day at the job, and you're busy shouting at this dude. First game of the season. He has that incident with the Wolves player that should have been a pen actually, where like he clattered the guy.
Mm.
The first game, and it was just downhill from there. But I, bruh, end of Onana. We're glad he can. We'll see
You
how
can
it goes.
you can take a breather there.
Was it
Yeah,
an obligation?
No, no,
Was it an obligation
it's just a
or an
straight loan.
option?
No, straight loan. No, nothing.
He'll be back.
Yeah,
They're
but
gonna
like,
send him back in January.
Yeah, but I think it's like his United career is over. I think once you go on that loan, then that's a wrap. It's a wrap. He's gonna come back next year. We can sell him. I think the PSR, the books will
To
balance
who?
it, bruh.
To who?
Someone out there, Sundowns,
Reading will come with like a £5 million
Mamelodi
offer.
Sundowns. Let's go, Patrice. Yeah. Speaking of that, actually,
But Sundowns could never actually sign him because they have Ron, who also had a blunder.
hey, yeah,
Who also had a blunder.
Ballon d'Or
Man.
nominee,
Ballon d'Or
Ronald.
nominee. Yeah, that sounds like a trade down, if you ask me.
Ooh.
Yeah.
speaking of Ballon d'Or nominee, World Cup qualifiers. Watch the game. What do you think of the Bafana Nigeria game? I know, Faz, you were watching it quite avidly. Yeah, getting one
I'm
over
just happy.
Nigeria is just that is just
I'm just happy. Even though we should have won that. Take away the handball and
yeah,
all that. We
ball.
should have won that hands
Mm.
down. Like I'm not gonna repeat, on that one player because he actually will start thinking I'm picking on him. Whereas I really love him as a striker, so I'm just gonna keep quiet. I think he needs to come home. I really think he needs to come home. Like European football is not for everyone. So it kills actually sometimes what your talent is, and like I think he needs to come back home. He's lost the disky, but what I can say is that my goodness, our squad is such a strong squad. I can actually picture us moving past group stages, and then no matter what group it is that we put it,
Yeah,
and that's the first time I can actually think that.
yeah,
Beyond that, I mean, it's always a lottery,
yeah.
so I'm not gonna.
And it's that
But it
first
was great.
this World Cup will be that first 48 team World Cup, right? So there'll be
Yeah.
some scrubs in there
There'll
as well
be
that we
yeah,
can
Ooh,
try
yeah,
and
yeah,
yeah.
negotiate kind
yeah.
of thing. Yeah,
Although
Like
the VAR story is a bit of a joke, though.
yeah,
yeah,
I don't know if they do. I'm sure they do VAR in the European qualifiers.
yeah,
I
yeah,
actually haven't
yeah.
noticed, but yeah, no, it's not on. This is why they don't take African football seriously.
yeah, yeah,
Mm.
yeah, yeah. No, it's a mess. It's a
But
mess.
there's a certain person there who promised it, but we
Mm.
won't go into
Yeah,
it.
let's not get political, but we all
Uh,
know the dude.
But we know.
Yeah, we'll see how it goes. But hey, Mr. Holland was stat padding there over in Europe.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
what was it? Was it 11-1 or something like that? That's
yeah,
wild.
it's crazy.
Haaland got 5 goals. I think it was the first half. I remember I just saw it like first half, like he had a hat trick already, and it was like the 30 something minute, and I'm like, this thing.
Mm. Yeah. So then the interesting stats or Haaland's stats are always compared against Aguero's numbers, with the Man City
Mm.
connection.
Okay.
And then the question always lingers, who's the better goal scorer,
Mm,
Haaland or Aguero? And I find it's quite an interesting conversation because I think Haaland plays in front of the better Man City team, whereas Aguero had to kind of hustle more for his goals.
mm.
You know, but I think
Mm.
that's an interesting question. Who's the Man City goat right now? Because they're already disrespecting Aguero, man.
Look, I think if you're talking about just for me, if you're talking about just like one is a footballer, the other one is not a footballer, right? The other one is a finisher. But like, I mean, Holland's a beast. Like he's putting them away so long, and he's so young, and he's just signed his 10-year death row contract. We all know where this is going. Like Aguero's gonna be a forgotten. He's gonna be a forgotten guy. The Man City fans are already forgetting him. So I
They
think,
forgotten him.
yeah,
He's
they
the last man. He had to force himself out there after the treble, to be like, hey, as part of the squad. It's like, nah, dog. Like it's like what is it's like watching those when you were in the trick and then the trick from the previous year comes back and it's just like from the university, like, dog, like, what are you doing here? Like, nah, bro, like, this is the new first team,
I'll never forget that Pep crying. We can never replace him. We can never replace.
And here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it's crazy.
Now, I don't agree that Aguero had to work harder for his goals. In fact, I think Aguero, most of his goals came because it was a different league at that time. First of all, they were playing like Stokes, you know what I mean? And then QPRs for a long time. Like, it wasn't the saucy football that was happening. And then on top of that, you had David Silva, Ilke Gundogan. Then at times he had Balotelli. If it wasn't Balotelli, there was Alvaro Negredo to play balls off of. So Haaland had to basically come and take the roles of both Negredo, Zeko, whatever, and you know what I mean? And be that guy who holds it up for Pep's system, but also does the run behind and score goals. I think Haaland is heavily disrespected just purely because he's a stat pad he is. But I mean, he's the embodiment. He's the embodiment of what Shearer was. You know what I mean? And Shearer was doing it in a 40-game season. You know what I mean? So I respect what
Yeah, but Shearer was also good technically though. Like
at shooting.
But guys,
Not a ball.
but guys, is stat padding like a fair accusation? Because you go back to the thing of you only score against who's in front of you, right?
Yeah.
Like it's not his fault.
Yeah.
It's not his fault. He's playing against
Yeah.
So I find the stat padding conversation is an interesting way of like framing
Yeah.
an analysis.
Yeah, I don't
It
think so.
is
I
if
think
you constantly stat padding against like Levante, you know.
yeah, with Haaland, I think you can give him his props. He look, he doesn't always show up in the big games, but he does show up in the big games, right?
He does.
He's not a straight up flat track bully, So
But if you had to point a finger at someone, with Man City and the kind of the flop of last season, I think you also have to point a big finger at him and say, Chief, you were pretty much a no-show, where are the goals? Where are the goals that won us the league type thing, Yeah, I think he does deserve
Scored so
criticism.
many goals last season.
what's this?
He scored so many goals last season.
Yeah, it's just because he had set such an incredible last year, like if that was his first season, you'd have been like, okay, cool, it's good transition season from Germany. He set the bar too high.
He climbed Everest twice, and then everyone was just like well, Clem now was basically like, right, climb Kilimanjaro.
Yeah.
He scored so many goals last season. Like, I think the only people that, I may be wrong, but I think the only people that were ahead were obviously Salah and Isak. And that's great company to be with.
Yeah, but then if he set the bar, that's his bar. Anything less is
22 goals, 3 assists.
Is not good enough.
Yeah, look, for a quote unquote 150 million striker who they're claiming as 50 million, but that's a conversation for another day. Maybe 22 goals.
Yeah. Look, speaking about strikers and World Cup. Speaking about strikers and World Cup squads, I think another interesting dynamic for me is the Sweden situation. Is the Isak and Gyökeres. That doesn't sound like a combo that plays together. Eh? It sounds like it's it's a one of the two. You know, with I don't really I can't say I've watched Sweden, you know, in any depth, but
Yeah.
it just sounds like you've ended up with the squad where you have two of the same, you have two main men, and I don't think it
Yeah.
works.
But
And
of those
you know,
two main men, one is mainer than the other one. Let's just be clear. Let's.
you know, well, then you need to be clear and say who's the main there, you know? So then it's
I
I
mean,
don't think that's
it's
even a
obviously
discussion you
Isak.
need to have, bro. Like, I think it's like clear. I think it's clear. Yeah,
Yeah.
they're gonna try and
how
put them
it's
together
it's
now.
clear. No. It's clear based on what, man? In my eyes, Gyökeres is he's got more kind of like stature and he's more proven in the, you know, just in the professional game. Isak is just one season, dog. Real Sociedad in one season at Newcastle.
No, bro,
And
he
you
was
managed
playing
to
No,
kind of
no.
scam
years
your
at
way,
Newcastle.
and you managed to scam yourself, you know, into this massive transfer saga. It doesn't make you, you know,
Nah, but
Gyökeres. Okay,
Mm,
we've also seen Gyökeres perform in Champions League. You know, we've also seen him kind of like perform in Europe as well. I don't know about that. You know, I don't know about who's the main man there. I don't think it's a straight cut. It's as
well,
straightforward
let's take
as
it when Zlatan was still there, because Zlatan, when he was there, Gyökeres and Isak squad, and Ilanga had just broken into the squad as well. I say broken in, not broken through, intentionally. You know, and there was a time when Isak was playing on the left, Zlatan was up front, and Gyökeres was on the bench. Then Gyökeres came in and became a full-on starter when Zlatan was out. So that already tells you that, you know, Isak has always been. I mean, for the longest of time in Sweden, they were calling him. Oh, just lost the name. It wasn't the next. That time it was Swedish. Anyway, I forgot it. But he was the main guy. Like everyone thought was going to happen. Like,
yeah.
and then
So
the Dortmund thing is the one that killed his whole hype. Then after the Dortmund, he went to Spain. When he went to Spain, he got that hype all over again. So he's been main man, you know, in Sweden. Sweden love that. Gyökeres is the new kid on the block
yeah,
to
if you have a
to
look,
start
yeah,
with.
I'm having a look at the stats. Isak made his Sweden debut in 2017. Um,
Mm,
Gyökeres came 2 years later in 2019. But
mm.
Isak has 53 games and 16 goals for Sweden. Gyökeres has 28 games and 15 goals for Sweden. So
But Isak has been also playing on the left a lot of those times. Don't forget that, because of
Yeah,
those
yeah,
Espanol
yeah,
games and all that
and
stuff.
also
Not yeah, Sophie that game, sorry.
yeah, and also like I mean Eddie Howe did level him up. Like so like
Mm.
there's that tag. So I know there's a pre Eddie Howe Isak and a post. But like if I look at the post, if I look at it now, I know for me it's clear. Like if they say we're going with one
Yeah,
striker,
Gyökeres Charles Bent.
Gyökeres,
Yeah, Gyökeres Charles Bent.
yeah,
Yeah.
people are going on like
It's Rocket Center and Benny McCarthy all over again, like for Blackburn. It's like, who you gonna play? You're obviously gonna start Benny, bro. Like Rocket Sharp, you were scoring in Portugal. That's nice, but this guy was doing it here, chip 9-9. You know, like
to
it
that point,
starts.
I've seen people online being like, "Oh, Sweden now they've got Gyökeres and Isak. They're gonna be unstoppable." And it's like those guys have been there. Like, they didn't just get there. Like they've been in Sweden.
yeah, yeah, but it just sounds like it's an interesting kind of moment to have both of those players in the same team. It's just like,
Yeah, and like now they're
yeah,
playing both playing,
that's
at
that's
in the best league
yeah.
in the world, and
What about the back?
it's what about that?
What what about the back? That's the issue. That's the problem that comes with these teams. I mean, I remember when Wales had Aaron Ramsey and Gareth Bale, and it was
Mm,
nice up front, Craig Bellamy and all that stuff. And it was like, but what about the back? And
yeah,
that's where you always got exposed, where it was just like 3-2 against Scotland. Here comes Northern Ireland, Johnny Evans scoring late, um, at 90th minute winners, you know, on Sky Sports. You see, fights between coaches. Like with these teams, there's no balance, Brian. That's where we were at South Africa for a long time as well. We weren't balanced. Like we had the Chabalalas, everyone going up Katla Hompela, all that stuff, but then we had so,
Yeah.
like now it's balanced. So that's where Nigeria finds themselves, where they have all these people so strong up front. Even Chukwumeza was chowing bench against us. But then at the back, you have Basi playing left back. You've got, it was leaky. You've got Didi, who's way past his prime.
Didi's done, bro. Didi's done.
You have to have balance, and that's the problem with Sweden where they find themselves. That's the problem that Portugal, for the longest of times, until I'd say maybe 10 years ago, were finding themselves with problems because they had an aging Carvalho and a Pepe who was still head rushing, basically always getting red
Yeah.
card. Then you had Nani who was always trying to steal goals. You had Ronaldo who was up front, but then you had charisma. And it was unbalanced. And then all of a sudden, you started having players who wanted, like Bernardo Silva's and all that stuff, who actually started playing more as a team, and more it became like how City and Haaland have that system where it's like, okay, we put it, and then there's our goal. You know what I mean? So we'll supply it, but then the coaches are the ones who interrupt here. Then you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, no, we'll see, we'll see. But I wonder. So Nigeria is at risk of not making it. I wonder what other big clubs are at risk of missing out on the World Cup. Italy always find themselves in a precarious situation. These guys, like, I don't know, man. These guys used to be like World Cup stalwarts, man, and then I don't know what happened to these guys. Uh, I saw they almost threw it away against Israel. I think they were 4-2
Imagine.
up. They were like 4-2 up, and then after that, all of a sudden it's 4-4, and they got the last minute
Mhm.
winner. It was Sandro Tonali with the winner there.
I would one opinion about Italy is it does seem like a lot of the big performers in Italy now are foreign players, whereas before Italy, the stalwarts like Serie A used to just be the breeding ground,
Mm,
and now you have a lot of guys coming from outside going into Serie A
Mm.
yeah,
and being like the main guys there.
yeah,
But
yeah,
there's definitely something wrong. There's definitely something wrong in Italy.
yeah, yeah. Let's
Something's happening there.
let's see if
I
Gattuso.
choose to not comment on both teams because it's a family-friendly show.
Sometimes it may be good, sometimes it may be shit.
You There's
Good.
something that fuels Italy whenever they have their successes, and if
Yeah,
it's not there,
yeah.
it's but I won't go into it. All you have to do is look at Totti.
You
You
gotta.
know, if you understand what fuels Italy.
You just need that sprinkle of racism there. Just I know that's where you're going. That sprinkle.
If it's all united, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyways, the league is back, guys. Back to regular programming, and first game, first game Saturday, early kickoff at the Emirates Stadium. We've got a
It's an L. It's an L.
we've got a
It's
new
an
manager.
L.
Nottingham Forest have appointed Mr. Ange Postecoglou. Mate. So the high line. So what do you guys think? First game at the Emirates, former Spurs manager,
L.
high line. but let's look at it. Let's look at this Forest squad. Do you think Edge can pull this nonsense of his with the squad?
Yes.
As highlight, I don't know, man. Murillo are gonna be finding themselves in spaces that they're not used to being in.
Yeah.
And
But the
Yeah.
thing about Potter is that everyone keeps talking about him being a Pep copycat, but he's not a Pep copycat at all. In fact, I see Arteta being a Simeone copycat. Um, and that's where I see that he's going to suffer because against the big teams, that's where he plays that terrible football. But against the smaller teams that he feels like he can beat, he plays that expensive football, and that's where and even last season, that's where he was getting punished, because he was playing that expensive football, which is exactly what Simeone does. Simeone, people only watch him, against the big teams in that league. But if you watch him play like a smaller team, he goes for it. Like they play really like saucy football possession and that's what Arteta does. In fact, I think Beta comes from
Yeah, but comes from
Atletico Madrid
yeah.
as well, and both signings and all that stuff. So like Arteta is definitely like a Simeone legend in the Premier League, and that's his mission to basically be a disruptor between City and Liverpool and all that stuff. So when I look at it, he's not going to play that defensive low block counter against nothing. In fact, what he's just going to do is he's going to try and attack. That's where Ange's benefits as compared to Tottenham, which is a big game, where before, Arteta would have played that eight of his, because it's a big game, it's Tottenham also. Now he's not going to look at Nottingham. He can't look at Nottingham. His supporters back him, so he's going to play that expensive football, and that's where Andrew's have that new coach bounce.
But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, Andrew started when was it Monday, Tuesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. It looks like is that
But
even?
that's why it's the bounce. The coach hasn't gotten in yet.
It's just
It's
it's all
nice
it's
time.
all vibes.
Everyone's
It's
shaking
all
hands.
vibes.
I used to
But
believe in the new
Cafeteria.
but we never got one with our current manager. So I don't know if the new manager bounce works anymore.
Yeah, it's crazy how someone who performed so poorly last season has just walked back into a job 3 weeks into the new season. Hey, it's just it's crazy
We
how
won
these
in
things
the second season.
work. It's crazy. It's crazy, man. But if I was a Nottingham Forest fan, considering how well they've been doing, the trajectory that they're on, imagine to see this guy rocking up, bro.
Yeah,
The guy who finished,
yeah,
the guy who finished 18th last season, man. Imagine how that
yeah.
must feel.
No, you look at it glass half empty. The guy who won the Europa League, he came
Nah.
to Premier. I
But
think
it's not a second season of nothing. That's the thing. It's
yeah,
first season.
I think this season they just know that yeah, this season is just business. Next season is when we're eating. I think.
Yeah, no,
What, the
but
championship? You're gonna win the championship?
but I think some teams like progress with like a steady trajectory. For some teams where it's like it's not an open checkbook, you have to, your resources are limited. Sometimes you need that like steady progress through seasons, through the phases, through like, kind of just below midway to like being a mid-table team to like challenging for Europe, like nice and steady progress. And we've seen kind of teams do that. You've seen like your Brightons and teams like that come up with like steady progress, and then it's like Nottingham Forest just have this like grenade thrown into them.
Bruh, they,
It's like this guy,
they almost got relegated the season before. How do you
and
go
now
scraping from relegation to next season almost qualify for the Champions League?
and now they have and now they have this guy, and like the way he used to approach things last season, he was like so rowdy, like he was just so like insistent on like they were like, Chief, your thing is your style is not working. Oh, I always win something in my second season. When are you gonna change things? I always win
Never
stuff in my
change
second
it.
season. It's like, bro, this is
Mm,
this is this is wow. This is like you're a pirate, dog, and
Yeah.
we need like steady,
mm.
calm kind of behavior. So it's a bit interesting for Nottingham Forest, man. It's like
But yeah, but we'll see. Forest is a wild club, and I don't know if this Marinakis guy was here 2 seasons ago or whether like I'm not sure when he bought in. But Forest was the club that came in and I think they bought something like 20 players or something like that. What?
They got him.
Yeah.
They got him.
And it was like everyone was like, "Hey, what's going on here, bro?" And that's when they were fighting relegation and whatever.
But then now you can't
Oh,
you can't have a crazy owner and manager at the same time. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That sounds.
Who would you have hired, Clem? Like, because look, Nuno was going, 100%. Nuno was going. You know, we saw that from the moment where he was fighting, with Marinakis,
Mm.
over, over, I think the substitution thing
on
and all
that
that stuff.
pitch. Yeah, there was a thing that
Yeah,
happened
like
on the pitch
we
at the
knew
end.
that
Yeah.
was over,
Yeah.
so who would you have gone for, like, in this situation? I know who I would have gone for.
Yeah. Look, it's difficult to say. You know, look, it's difficult to say a name. I think I would look more at character. You know, I definitely wouldn't have gone for like a character. I think Ange is more like a man manager type guy. He's not like a structured system with like an approach to football. He's more like Cavalier, G up the guys, single objective. All I do is win in my second season. You know, I don't think that's the approach. I think I would have gone more for someone with like a strong kind of like philosophy, structure, and system. I think that's the more sustainable approach for
You
a
think Marinakis cares
national
about
side.
that? Marinakis checked his passport Greek. My brother, come through, my brother.
Yeah.
That's all. Man. That's all that happened.
Marinakis also seats. He wants bums on the seats.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
I would have gone for Mourinho. Mourinho would have been, I think, the perfect follow-up to Nuno. Both have similar philosophies. I feel like Marinakis and Mourinho probably either clashed or gotten well together, understanding both anyway, like how the European, yeah, fine, Marinakis is Greek and he knows Greek football and all that stuff, but it's not that different to Turkish football in terms of rowdiness and that. And Mourinho just came from that environment and just came from crazy owners, and he's had crazy owners before, and he's had impulsive owners as well before. So, like, I feel like Mourinho probably would have been the one to settle everything. And even if things didn't look great, like, you knew at least guaranteed would be mid-table and above with this guy. You know
Yeah,
what I
no, for
mean?
sure, for sure. What I'd pay to see Marinakis and Mourinho in like a heated, like a heat, That's the one I'd pay. But yeah, no, let's hope Arsenal takes the L there.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes. I'm really keen on that one. We'll see how it goes. Uh,
But look, you know these fixtures after the international break, there's always like one or two kind of like one or two games that just go off script.
yeah,
You know,
yeah.
in this post international break.
Yeah.
Kind of story.
There's. I'm looking at Burnley versus Liverpool on Sunday. That's a perfect candidate for the
No
Oscar.
chance. No chance. No chance.
Yeah, you see, if
Like, I
Lyle
think we actually might play our B squad. Like, I think we might even play our B squad there. Like, Mama
Yeah.
Dashvali, will probably play Connor Bradley. We'll probably play Robertson, definitely Robertson. Van Dyke probably just to steady everything. Leone probably gets his first game.
you
You
playing
know,
Mark? Are you playing Mark
real,
Gay?
real. Hmm?
Are you playing Mark Gay? Is it too soon? Is it too soon?
He played so well. He actually played
Yeah.
so well in this last international. Like,
Yeah.
I'm actually really like, I hate like Adolf. I mean, sorry, Oliver. Like I really hate him. Like, he looks so ready, and like he would have been so perfect for us. But I mean, it's fine. We go back for him either January. Otherwise, it's a battle in the summer. Well, in UK summer. But I think, judging the character he is, the fact that we had already agreed, personal terms and all that stuff, and he was happy, he was
Yeah.
excited. I think we edge over Madrid. because also he'll be looking at Madrid. They're already taking Konate. No, he's Konate, and they're also looking at Upamecano. You know what I mean? And this is Xabi Alonso. So it's just like Xabi Alonso is going to play Konate and Upamecano before he plays Mark Gay. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah,
The,
we'll
he,
see. But that Madrid pool, man, hey, what's they start calling?
Yeah,
It's very hard to
La
say
Liga
no.
is not the same. La Liga is not the
yeah,
same. Like the only thing that's drawing people
It's just
now
the
to Madrid.
idea. It's just the idea of Real Madrid.
Yeah,
of
That's
Madrid.
like
Yeah,
which is what I'm saying. Like Gay, he doesn't strike me as that type of character. You know what I mean? Whereas the Konate, the Upamecano's, the Trents, I could even say even McAllister, Soboslai. Those guys give me that thing of I have a dream of one day playing for Madrid, kind of thing,
maybe,
and I'll do it any cost.
yeah.
You know,
Maybe the
like
saga
they
broke
give
him,
me
bruh.
that.
Maybe the saga broke him. Maybe he was like, this being a good guy, or whatever.
yeah,
I'm just gonna go.
yeah. He's probably already started with the Spanish lessons. Yeah, he's just gonna rock up. He's just gonna rock up there at Madrid,
Yeah, we'll see.
speaking full Spanish.
Yeah, another interesting
But
game.
if you guys do well, I think you guys can disrupt Madrid, like in a lot of these free transfers. If you guys do really well, like get Champions League by some grace of God, you know, you guys, I think, would be able to, especially with the free market players that are coming up now in 2026. I think you guys could disrupt Madrid, which is why I'm saying like Madrid doesn't feel like, yeah, this year they got it done, but next year after World Cup 2026, all that stuff, unless they settle everything in January, they just don't like La Liga doesn't feel like it has that thing anymore.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No,
Barca is loading Rashford. They could have gone and pulled real players if they had that pool, but they don't have it. Like, but they can't tell you that they don't have it because they have a league to think about. This is the Super
uh,
League thing's failing.
we'll
These,
see.
these,
Yeah,
these
La Liga has to do well in the Champions League this season. If
yeah.
well, I keep their street cred. Well, we'll see how it goes. I've just noticed as well on Saturday we've got the Jack Grealish derby here. Uh, Aston Villa travel to, yeah, I don't even know what Everton's stadium sounds like, a cigarette pack. What is it?
Yeah, that new stadium. Yeah.
That new stadium of theirs. But Jack Grealish against his former club there, and Everton have been good. Have been good at home, I think. Uh,
Mm. He's been really good. Well, yeah.
yeah, it's been fire.
New stadium bound.
Yeah, Villa have been struggling now. That's gonna be an interesting game, actually. I think I might watch that one for 4 p.m. It's gonna be an interesting game. Uh,
Mm.
I don't know if Villa are still our rivals or whether that was a thing of the past, but a potential another L for them. There, I'll be hate watching Villa there. Let's see how it goes. Maybe Jaden Sancho will have a cameo
Your
there.
rivals,
Because
your rivals are Brighton.
get out of here, get out of here, Brighton. We're gonna go to Brighton in January and be like, Chief, it's time. Give us our man.
Norwich.
Give us our man.
Norwich.
Well, we'll see. Speaking of that, Manchester Derby Sunday. I think
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that we're gonna beat City at the Etihad. I'm almost certain. I'm not. I don't know why. It just it feels like. I mean, even last season, actually, in the depths of our mud, City never beat us last
Yeah.
season,
Yeah, we
and
still showed up
and
against City. Yeah.
and City's pressing is taking. They can't. They don't
Mm.
press properly. They're still trying to figure each other out, and they don't have like a proper trigger and pressing as a unit. They're still like kind of whatever. And I think we can expose them there with Mbumo's pace and all of that. I think we can get at City. I'm not even
Mm.
scared at all. Mamouche is out now. I see City's trying to leak. They're trying to say, "Oh, we've got 13 players out." They're saying Turkey's out. Uh, I don't know what the list is. Foden's out. They're saying they've got 13 players out. We know that's nonsense. But
Mm.
yeah,
A quick, a question we touched on last week was who starts in goal for United.
For United, I would Roy
Mm.
Lamens in. The reason that Roy Lamens in is uh because here's the thing, right? We've got City and then we've got Chelsea and then we've got a smaller game, right? If
Mm.
you put Bayern Dia in for those two games, right? Let's say you want to let Lamens like slide in smoothly, let Bayern Dia take the heat for the big games. If we go there and we lose those two games, because say even because of goalkeeping mistake or whatever the case is, now it's like a dog. It's what that'll be like what 5 games. Or like in 5 games you've got one win. Now the pressure that's gonna be on Lamens in that game where he comes in now, because now it's a must-win game. It's gonna be quite intense. I'd rather put him in the big game, let him have that, let him have Chelsea to like settle in and stuff. So that by the time what's after Chelsea? It's a small team. But so that he's not like facing a must-win game in his very first start. We play who are we playing? We play upcoming, let's see, Brentford. So we play
Mm.
City, we play Chelsea, and then it's Brentford. If we lose against City and Chelsea, you start in the guy in Brentford and it's a must-win game. And like you've got Sunderland and then it's Liverpool after that. I'd rather just throw him in now. I'd rather just throw him in now. Let him get a run of games. Let him get confidence so that we can smash the Scousers. Who do you start?
Yeah, look, I've been thinking about it, and I think we might as well, right? We bought Lamens to try and fix the problem, so why not just give him a run? I think there is as much as you can say it's like he's a young guy, you're throwing him in the deep end, but nothing says you're our guy like giving him a start on day one. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
it does also give him that sense of like Chief, this is your shit now. The other guy's gone. You're up.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
For sure. For sure.
yeah. So I'm not mad. I'm not mad at that.
Also, it would be expected for you guys to lose if you lost against both teams. So it's no pressure on actually there.
Yeah, no, that's a fair thing. Yeah, it's kind of like a no pressure thing. I think I don't know what the crowds are like at Antwerp or in the Belgian league, so I think that's gonna be a shocker for him. Like just the Premier League match day crowd, but it's the empty hat, so maybe it might not be so bad. The Stamford Bridge one might be a bit hectic, or Chelsea at Old Trafford. But like, yeah, just rip the band-aid
I
off.
mean, Old Trafford is quite a dead stadium as well lately. Like it's
I'll,
no,
I'll,
no, no,
I'll,
no. I'm like
I'll
when it's
say
rocking, it's rocking. When it's rocking, it's rocking. But like it's usually dead, especially under Emma. Like it's so quiet. Like it's like funeral because like within 5 minutes there's a goal conceded, and next thing it's just like oh, and then you
yeah,
just
at
hear
least we don't
murmurs.
play crowd music on the crowd sounds on the speakers at our stadium to
We
create a
don't.
fantastic atmosphere. Yeah, these guys at Anfield, they play crowd noise there just to add to the atmosphere.
Those are fake rumors. I mean, like that's just done by agents purely because every. I mean, you've heard it from. I don't think I can't even tell you how many quotes now have come out from current and former players, and coaches, who just always
Yeah.
say Anfield. Anfield is the place, like Anfield's environment. Anfield, Anfield. We just keep hearing Anfield. So I'm not phased about that comment. We know what's up.
You know when you used to be the guy and everybody's like now romanticizing and that nostalgia
Yeah.
hits and then they know that but things are different. Here's I was just looking for it. Here's Man City's apparent injury list. Ryan Cherky, Ryan Atnuri, Marcus Bettinelli, Josko Gvardiol, Kusanov, Rico Lewis, John Stones, Phil Foden, Kovacic, O'Reilly, Calvin Phillips, Savinho, Mamouche. That's City's alleged injury list.
Like Phillips is still there.
Yeah, he did a loan to.
Like, is that even still an injury? Like,
Yeah,
is he not just like coaching stuff now?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
honestly, like Calvin Phillips has been injured for like 4 years.
That guy will regret. I'm sure he regrets going to City over because United were interested
Yeah.
in him. Then he was like, yeah, no, the rivalry and blah blah blah. And obviously, he wants to play for Pep and all that stuff. Where were you going, dog? Where were you? uh, yeah, no, that's wild. But
But that injury list just screams Pep Linders because I mean Liverpool was going through similar things when we had that guy training us, man. Pep Linders is like almost like Arteta, that intensity thing of it's crazy, and the players. I mean, Pep needs to get used to playing with about 12 players available. He needs to understand develop like youth players are going to be his friends. Like Jurgen Klopp learned that very early in Pep
mm,
Linder's time, where it was just like,
yeah,
okay, come here, Nat Phillips, come here, uh, all Jaden Dance, all you kids that no one has ever heard of. You guys are going to be my friends now because
yeah,
these guys are always injured. Ox is always injured.
mm, yeah,
Navigator is always injured.
yeah.
So
They
Pep
think
needs to be.
they're saying they brought him in, Pep Linders, because they thought City was struggling again, the pressing thing. They don't press the
Mm,
way they need to and whatever. So I think they were trying to like get energy into the team and get them
mm.
pressing and
That
stuff.
intensity
That-
brings injuries.
yeah.
That's what killed us. That's what broke us. That's what broke Liverpool. Like we had great pressing before Linders, and then Linders came in. Yeah, sharp. He helped us also, but I mean, he was. It's all in his book. That whole intensity thing, it was non-stop, and it's just like you can't run these guys down like this. Like
Mm,
Navigator is not, and Thiago Alcantara are not built to just run like they just James Milner and Henderson. Those guys don't have talent. They have to run.
mm.
These guys are balling. Like
Wow. Wow, dog.
you know,
Hey,
these guys are balling. Like you
wow,
can't just think.
why is Henderson and Milner catching these strays, man?
No, 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 no. Like it's in a good
What?
way. Like it's like they won us everything, and I can speak on their talent honestly and still be grateful for everything they gave us. Kind of like you guys with Gibson and O'Shea and all those people. Like we're not like Jordan Henderson was not a talented. Like you'll see him again with Brentford.
Mm,
Like you'll see him.
yeah,
Like you see him with England. England
I think
but what he does.
we lost you for a bit there first.
Yeah, sorry about that. No, I was saying, but what Henderson does is valuable for France, and that's all that matters.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why is Henderson in the England squad? Like what's Tuchel doing?
Tuchel, Tuchel really likes him for some reason. But I understand Tuchel's approach there. It's like you need a balance. You need like these guys who've kind of done it before, someone who can organize things on the pitch. I'm not mad at that thinking.
I would be mad because for every Henderson that's there, there's like a Kobe Manu or someone else who's missing out, and it's like this guy is a waste of space because you've
No,
got
I take
leaders there.
Henderson over.
You've got leaders
I
there.
take Henderson over mine, and I'm not even saying that on a talent point of view, but on a leadership point of view.
Yeah, let's hear your point of view.
No, I'm saying, but like on a leadership point of view, I would take Henderson over Manu any
But
day.
you've got Harry Kane there, you've got Declan Rice, you've got Jordan Pickford, you've got Harry Maguire. Well, he didn't pick Harry Maguire now, but
Okay,
like you've got
Pickford has never won
you've got
anything.
you've got Mark. No, you.
Pickford has never won anything. Rice has never won anything with Arsenal. He won one thing with West Ham. Harry Kane just
Champion of
started
Europe.
becoming a winner. Yeah, Harry Kane
No,
just became started becoming a winner. He's
nah,
new in this club.
no, but no,
Who else did we
some
list?
no Harry Kane, even a trophyless Harry Kane is a thing. Some guys, their level is just high enough that they don't need trophies in order to be considered a leader, a good leader. Like Harry Kane is one of
Yeah,
the guys.
if you have trophy leaders as well, which is what Henderson is.
The guy who failed at Ajax. Nah, come on.
You have to
But
have that balance.
yeah, but Tuchel really likes him. Tuchel really has
Mm.
something for him.
Yeah, yeah. Just let's see another. I think the last interesting. I mean, Brentford Chelsea. We'll see how that goes. That should be an easy Chelsea win. We've got West Ham at home to Tottenham. Mr. Potter has Harry Potter has changed his formation, and West Ham looked fire the last game. So that's
Mm,
going to be an interesting one. There's a
mm.
potential something. Yeah, let's see how Thomas Frank comes out of that one. Yeah, but good to have the league back. Speaking about the Premier League, did you guys see the Ivan Toney quote? He was like, where he was like, for me, the Saudi Pro League is on par with the Premier League. If we, Al Ahly, were in the league, we'd give it a good go and be close to the top four. And then he referenced how, yeah, you saw in the Club World Cup, Al Hilal knocked out Man City. That shows you the level that the league is on. What do you think of that?
I think he's being hyperbolic. Like, I think he's being honest with himself, but he's lying to himself. But to me, he's not far off from the truth either. Like, I think he the Saudi league would definitely be in the top three leagues in Europe, in my opinion. Just from watching it, it's definitely much stronger than the French league, and it's definitely right now, currently speaking, much stronger than the German league. The Italian league, yeah, it's actually, I think it's on par with the Italian league. I think it's a toss up between that third spot for the Italian league and and that Saudi league. In terms of just the league, quality of players, the depth there, the tactical, the coaches, all that stuff. Like it's those games are actually really intense. They're really entertaining. They're really good. People, yeah, that's it because they want to treat it like it's an MLS. It's not an MLS at all. At all, it's not an MLS. That's a really strong. Um, Granted, I only started watching it over the last year and a half, but watching it quite often, like definitely more than I watch La Liga, and it is a strong league. It's a really strong league.
I don't know, man. I feel like someone would have to pay me a whole lot of money to sit down on a Saturday and say, "Hey, I'm watching, I'm watching the Saudi Pro League."
But
Yeah.
that's the problem that I think even South African football is struggling with, where it's like our
Yeah.
quality is really up there now, but because of certain stigmas and all that stuff, it's very hard to go and watch it. But if I were to watch, for example, Villarreal versus Getafe
Mm.
or El Nasser, not even El Nasser, let's leave El Nasser. I will were to go watch an Al Ahly, right, versus an Al Nasser or El Tafik, right? I would be way more entertained by the quality of the Al Tafik versus Al Ahly than a Villarreal versus Getafe. You know what I mean? Like it's really competitive. It's a really competitive league. It's really good. It's quick. It's much quicker than people expect because obviously people are looking at, oh no, it's taking old players, Kante and all that stuff. But it's not just taking Kante's, the old guys. It's also taking the upcoming youngsters.
Mm.
Players like, I mean, if João Neves didn't go to PSG, I'm 100% sure he would have gone to Saudi. You know what I mean? From Portuguese league. Like those are the type of quality players that they take would be the next wonder kids in Europe. You know what I mean? They started this project long. They took even Brazilian youngsters, not just youngsters, but even like 23, 24, 25-year-old prime players from the Brazilian, like it's a really strong competitive. Like I actually challenge people to just watch it for like 1 month, however you need to watch it.
Yeah,
Whenever you have,
I'm
I
gonna
think.
be honest with you, bro. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll fail
Yeah.
that challenge so hard, bro.
But then look, what do you then say for a league that is a consistent importer of players? Like we're not seeing any of this of the quality from Saudi kind of going the other way,
Mm,
and kind of giving back to the rest of world football. It's
yeah.
like they're just swallowing and they're just sucking, and yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that suggests
The
that it's
only
a
people who moved from Saudi to Europe are guys who were in Europe already, and then like we don't get the natives
yeah,
moving
yeah.
across. I think is the point Clem
I
is
mean,
making.
Xavi, who was the coach, he went from Qatar, which is a weaker league
Mm,
um, than the Saudi league, even before the superstars arrived, you
Mm.
know. And he went from Qatar and he went over to Barca, and he
But you have to
got
give
a
him
treble.
La Masia tax, like
mhm.
through the system, or like he's been like part of the Barca DNA for like a long time. You have to just give him that tax. Uh,
Fair, but like I really think like people, in 10 years' time, I honestly
yeah.
do believe that people will be looking at it on that point of like the
Mm.
whole Super League saga really caused that divide in football. And I think you're seeing teams now falling into it, which is what Perez was seeing, and which is why he's like the La Liga is scared now because they're seeing the ripple effects. Because England after that saw that, and we almost lost six of our biggest teams, and now they went ham. Whereas La Liga can't compete, and that's why they had to change their financial model for big teams. It's a big spenders now all of a sudden, over the last 5 years. Um, and I think in the next 10 years, you're going to see this great divide between Premier League watchers and then you're going to have Saudi. Like I really think you're going to have that great divide there, almost like how once upon a time there was that great divide, like in the 2007, 2006, up to like 2009, there was that great divide between Premier League watchers and the French league. When Leon was doing really well and all that stuff, even though they weren't doing well in Europe or there was some serious French football watchers because they had all the people, all that stuff, blah blah blah.
Mm.
So to the point where Italy had to start signing superstars. So I think that's the kind of divide to see. Like it's really growing. Like it's not a joke. The only thing I think that can stop them is politics. Like in that
Mm,
region, I
yeah.
think that's the
Like,
only thing that could like destroy everything they're trying to build there.
well,
But it's a
yeah,
really
we'll,
strong.
we'll see with them. The clock is ticking. They have to break out while all the stars are there. Because if those stars
Mm,
start
Yeah,
retiring, it's a wrap. It's
yeah.
a wrap.
Although they
yeah,
have started attracting like a much younger profile of player, right?
yeah.
Like
And I
this
think that
whole guys like João Felix, man.
yeah, yeah,
Sadio Mane, guys like João Felix, Sadio Mane. Those are guys who are hardly out of
I
their
mean,
prime.
Sadio's old. Sadio was old at Liverpool.
Really? No, I don't think Sadio. Is he finished? Wait, he's 33.
Sadio is old.
He's
he's
And
finished.
he's not finished, but he's old.
he's 33.
Soccer age.
Yeah, soccer age. I was just about to say we can't be sure how old man is.
Yeah.
And Del
Yeah.
Felix is a scam. So those aren't the two who I'm looking at. Like I'm looking more. Yeah, fine. Your Ivan Tonys or whatever. You can add those guys. But I was looking
John
more.
Duran. Uh,
You know what I mean? Like, and they also were signing a lot. Yeah, like your Durant, and they've got that a lot of the 23 to 25-year-old profile
mm,
people who were in the mid-table teams or in the top teams of lower leagues, whatever,
yeah.
who weren't in the big teams just yet, and they were on those radars. So they have all those scouting metrics, so they know So they shopping like how Newcastle's shopping right now. You know what I mean? Which is so they could have gotten like a Voltamator if Voltamator was from, not from Germany, for example. They would be signing those type of signings where it's like we're gonna pack our league with these type of quality players, Johan Cruyff's type of players, those guys who are really quality, and then bring in the big guys. They're no longer trying to bring in the Neymars type of players anymore because that was just draw players. And now they know that, look, we can give Tony 300K and it will be nothing for us. You know what I mean? And Tony will come. And in the beginning, will be about money, but then afterwards, they actually get into this league. And that's the thing that I'm finding is that the players, when they get there, they actually buy into the league. I mean, Fabinho and Firmino are some of the most religious people you'll find, in football, Christianity wise, but like they are like diehard, um, like Saudi players now. Like they had offers in Brazil. They had offers in Brazil, but they're not going to Brazil.
Yeah, because the bag is strong in Saudi. But
Yeah.
but anyways, to close there, we know they're gaining a Bruno Fernandes and Casemiro probably next season. We'll see how it goes. But 1 week we are
They
excited.
could get them up, maybe.
Yeah, I doubt.
I doubt it, but they could.
I'll never stop laughing at you if he goes to Saudi over Liverpool. But anyways, outside of that league, the one league that we all know that we all love is back this weekend.
Yeah.
We're excited. We'll see you guys on the reaction show next week. Hopefully, there are some interesting results there.
Yes, yeah. I'm picking one. I'm picking one result just to go off script here.
Yeah.
I'm picking one of these games to go wildly off script.
Yeah. No, definitely Lyle Foster hat trick for Liverpool. We will be there. We will be there. Anyways, guys, big up. Good show. Remember, like, subscribe, guys. Keep it locked on
Yeah.
the channel. Away.
Cheers.
You'll never walk alone.
I'd rather walk alone, my bro.